Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Lisa Rene TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Make sure you subscribe today before you leave. Make sure to thumbs up the video if you do like what you see, and to share on all your social media networks that you happen to be on at this time. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm so happy to be back in front of the camera again, as always. Okay, all right, so let's get into today's topic. Okay, so what about the unwed or unmarried? So, this topic kind of fell into my spirit maybe a few days ago. It actually was funny. It came from, I think it kind of stemmed from someone I was like talking to. It was a conversation at work, and a lady at work, she lives with her boyfriend, and she was just mainly like kind of talking about just their lives together, and the fact that she's not really interested in marriage and she doesn't really want kids or anything like that. So I was just listen to the conversation. So yeah, I just kind of got to thinking, and I was like, Now, we kind of live in an age in a culture, and this is the season, for weddings and things of that nature, wedding bells, babies, all that kind of good stuff. So everybody, and so we say everybody wants to be married, and we have a lot of women who are kind of pushing for that if they have not married yet, and they really, really want to be married. This is their goal, basically. They want to be married, want to be moms, and things of that nature. And so then what about like the other half who is not necessarily, that's not really their goal. Like they're not necessarily going for that. In a society that is more marriage prone, and it's like it's more, of course, marriage is very biblical, and so even like in the Christian community, it's said that okay, singleness is only a season, and so God is not really going to have a person be single forever. But what if we have some people who don't really want or desire marriage? So you have that aspect of things to look at, that side of the coin to look at, and then you have another respect where it may be a person who is like, okay, I'm not single, like I'm in a relationship, but yeah, I don't want to be married though. Like, I have a boyfriend and we have a child, but I'm not really leaning towards marriage, or I want to be married, but he doesn't want to be married, but I don't want to leave him. So it's a lot of dynamics I think that we overlook because we try to black and white everything, to either you single or you married or not. And it's like it's not always like that. When you really get down to the crust of it, the meat of it, you start to seeing it's some other things going on here, and all is not godly. Like seriously, because usually, God is going to lay it out, map it out, make it simple for you so that you're not confused, because He's not the author of confusion, right? He gonna tell you that Himself. So we know that going in. So usually when you know that going in, it is more easier for you to dissect the confusion of the enemy. So when the enemy comes in with these inner layers of BS, basically, you're gonna be able to easily like, now clear that out. Like that's some buffoonery. I'm not going for it. I know that my Lord is not leading me to something like that, because that is not a relationship. That is a relation. That's what that is. That is two people relating with each other, but they're not really, necessarily suitable for each other. It's not necessarily they're not necessarily brought together for a God-given purpose. They're not necessarily together. Like they together, but they're not together. You know what I'm saying? They just living and existing in the same, they're coexisting in the same space together, meaning they're cohabitating, but they're not necessarily going towards matrimony together, nor should they be thinking along the lines of matrimony, because maybe these two individuals don't even belong together. Maybe they don't. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like something she said, like something this young lady said. She said, something about he makes her kind of uneasy. This is her boyfriend she's speaking of. Like when she has to do her job or her work, or it's something about like, when she's trying to get into her flow, and you get into your flow, you're doing your thing, your talent or whatever, whoever you are. Like he kind of, when he's around, it makes her less happy. And I'm like, and so like a couple of us was like, So I think when she made a statement like that, I think she wasn't even hearing herself. I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? So I wonder, did she ever want to get married, or was it because of this guy who made her maybe not want to be married because she didn't want to marry him? Because it makes you uncomfortable. Anytime like your mate makes you uncomfortable in any kind of way, do you think that you should be cohabitating with them? Do you think that you should be thinking about marrying a guy who makes you uncomfortable in any kind of way? Like you can't. Basically, what you're saying is I can't really be myself around him. At least not the whole me. Like I can kind of be myself with him, but there are other aspects of myself that I'm afraid to unveil in front of him for fear of whatever, or he throws me off in some kind of way. I'm like, well, maybe you are already off. I mean, like maybe you ever thought about that? So we're like, like. For real, like you. I mean, the fact that you get unhappy, when he's like coming around, when he's coming home, when he leaves, you're like, oh my god, finally go. I'm like, but I don't. I think that she was so used to her own dysfunction that she didn't realize it was dysfunctional. You know, so sometimes people, they worship their own dysfunction. They don't worship Christ like they should be doing. They're worshiping their own dysfunction. So it's something that is beautiful to them. That's holy to them. They love it. I'm like, you're so dysfunctional that it's normal to you. So to somebody else, we like, that's not how you're supposed to feel about your man. But she's like, I'm like, yeah. So. You know, so what does the Bible actually say about married and unmarried folks? Well, let's go to the Bible. So for the living together unmarried. So now let's start at 1 Corinthians 7, first verse through 40, of which I'm not reading all 40 verses, of course not. But now concerning the matters which you wrote, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. But because of the temptation to sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife and each man her own husband. True. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband. For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that you may devote yourselves to prayer. But then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So that's a really important one, because that particular verse covers a few different topics. It covers the fact that it talks about our sex drive as humans. How yes, God is aware that you are sexual and that you want to have sex, and it's healthy and it's fine and all good, and God knows that because He created sex as well. But He wants you to have it within the context of marriage, and so that it is protected and that it is holy. And that is how He would get glory from that, and that you would be you would definitely be protected and supported in that, in the realm of marriage, as opposed to I am exploring my sexuality with just kind of random people, and there's nothing there covering you, so you kind of need that covering by your husband, by your wife, and you all explore that part of yourselves together. So God is in support of that, of you, having your sexual exploration of yourself. Fantastic, but He would like you to do that within the context of marriage. And then another thing that it talks about is the withholding of sex from a husband or a wife, because we know the big thing that is talked about in society is women getting mad at their man and they withhold sex from him. He ain't getting his cookie, he ain't getting whatever. So that's another thing that it talks about. So according to the Bible, it is not a good idea to withhold sex from your husband. There are some women who don't do it, like some Christian women who I would never do it as my husband, even if I am upset with him. Now, here's the thing. my theory on that is I am not, I would think that as a Christian woman or as a woman in general, you need to focus less on withholding the sex and focus on the reason of why you want to withhold from him. Because I think that's the basis of it. I think that's probably what God would want you to do. You need to focus on why I want to withhold sex from him anyway. Because that's where you're going to find the root of your anger so that you all can kind of pluck that little poisonous seed up and y'all can clear the air and get back to harmony, peace, and love and then, making love. So as opposed to, I'm going to just focus on my anger. I'm pissed at you. I don't want to talk to you, and I definitely don't want you touching me either. So I think too many women get caught up in I just want to withhold from you because I can, which is not a good spirit to be in. So that's why that verse is saying what it is saying. So not a good idea. I think God is basically saying I don't want you getting in the wrong spirit. So yeah. So another verse I wanted to talk about was Hebrews 13:4. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. So kind of piggybacking on what we just spoke about. So the bed of marriage is undefiled, meaning you can pretty much do whatever you want to do within the bed, within the realm of marriage. Once again, another reason why God created marriage so that you can have as much fun as you want with your mate without feeling guilty or feeling crazy. It's like you can have a great time with this person who you love, who is committed to you. You committed to them. It's all good. It's totally fine. And you don't want to get into another other two spirits, which he brings up as being sexually immoral and adulterous, meaning you are sleeping around with other married folks, or somebody else's husband, somebody else's wife, or you just kind of being a random body, you going around like I'm just sleeping with random people, so that's not a good idea. It's not safe for you or these people. So it's not safe for you physically, sexually, or emotionally to do that. So a lot of us have found ourselves in those situations. Like I've been on the other end of that, like we kind of, in a past life, that was me, so we've kind of found ourselves like that, but thank God for cleansing and renewing basically. So yeah, we want to stay cleansed and renewed. So Genesis 2:24. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So that's just beautifying, showing the beauty of it all, and and pulling it all together, and just showing the process of basically what happens when you are uniting. What matrimony really means is we are going to come together as one. We're going to pull our lives together. It also talks about responsibility and what a man is really doing when he's marrying you. Not saying his family is not important anymore, but what he's doing is he's leaving them and he's really cleaving onto you, and you guys are going to come together, create a whole life of your own, a family of your own, and kind of continue the family as a whole. So yeah, amazing thing that happens there. So 1 Corinthians 6:18. 1 Corinthians 6:18 reminds us to flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. So that kind of explains what the other verses were speaking of about the whole sexual immorality thing. So the reason why I'm saying you're sinning against your own body is because your own body is involved when you're sexually immoral. So that's what God is saying. You're like, what you mean I'm sinning against my own body? You are involved in whatever whatever you're doing, with whoever you're doing it to or with. So that's why you kind of have to be very careful, because you get in your body, your temple, this holy, beautiful temple that God created, into some really, scurvy, scandalous things. So you kind of don't want to put yourself through that. Once again, this is not physically safe for you because you can get STD. I mean, you can get an unwanted pregnancy. I mean, all kind of stuff can happen to your body, that you can't really take back. So you don't want to throw your temple out there like, do whatever, like it's not a good idea all the time to make yourself available to to Satan's handyman, basically. So be very careful. Be very careful who you make yourself available to. The only person you want to say do whatever to is your your husband, because apparently it's safer with him. So supposed to be, So basically, we are to be involved with the work of our Father when we are in a place of singleness. So talking about singleness, we want to refer to 1 Corinthians 7, chapter 7, 32 to 35. So basically, that reminds singles, it says, I want you to be free from anxieties. The unmarried man is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to please the Lord. But the married man is anxious about worldly things, how to please his wife, and his interests are divided. Very true. And the unmarried or betrothed woman is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to be holy in body and spirit. But the married woman is anxious about worldly things, how to please her husband. I say this for your own benefit, not to lay any restraint upon you, but to promote good order and to secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. So, once again, that was 1 Corinthians 7, 32 to 35. So basically, that verse is telling singles exactly what your duty is as a single, what's expected of you when you are in a non-marital state in your life. So basically, we're supposed to be involved with the work of our Father, and this is a simple yet arduous feat in a multiple distraction driven world, is what I found. It's like it seems so simplistic, and then there's so many other things that at bay, and so many other things that go on while you're in the state of singleness. And when it comes to like dating and things that nature, you have like, you have dating sites, and then you have people who are on the dating sites who are not always as truthful. And let's talk about guarding your heart just for a second. So I think, Christian brothers and sisters are supposed to be guarding each other's hearts, especially during the time of singleness, not just, when you get married. Okay, naturally, husband and wife guard each other, but I think when you're single, you need to guard each other too, just by being truthful, which is something that you want to, upholding integrity. Like, yes, you want to definitely do that while you are still single, while you guys are befriending each other or trying to date each other or whatever it is. I think it's just very, very important to hold that standard to the highest, because, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of Christian, dating sites, and I think Christians do run into trouble when they try to get on sites or even meeting each other at a mixer or some kind of church event. I think you have to be really honest with yourself as a single woman, as a single man. Am I ready to date right now? Am I ready for marriage? Because it could be that I want to be married, I want to date, but maybe not right now, and that's okay. That's okay, and don't always set your standards to fit somebody else's idea of who they think you are. Make sure your standards fit who you are, who you are, and who you want to be, So if you are at a point you like, I'm not ready to date, I'm not ready to do this, just be honest with yourself, and, don't drag other people into it. That's what I mean by just having a lot of integrity and guarding your sister's heart or guarding your brother's heart, not, if you're not ready for a relationship, don't pretend you are, basically. So, yeah, so this is just some of the things that, can be looked at as a disadvantage to being single, and it makes the journey from single to marriage like a longer journey where you kind of run into these little rough spots on the road, but keep your head up, singles. So it's really, you got to, you look down and you start looking at these people and put too much hope and faith in them, you're gonna get really disappointed and discouraged, and you might run out there and start, getting with random bodies and doing different things to kind of alleviate the pain. But in all honesty, like, what good is that going to do? Like, it's not really going to do anything but add to whatever you're feeling 10 times worse. So I wouldn't do it if I were you. It's really not a good idea. What you need to do definitely is just be about your Father's business. Get busy into what you're doing and use this time, if you are still in a single state, to continue building you and continue being the best you that you can be, so that when that person comes along, that season comes along, you can be ready. You can ready to walk right in. You won't have any regrets at all. I know I preach about this all the time, but I'm just big on preparation for anything, whether it be single season preparation, marriage season, baby seasons, or whatever. I'm just big on just not being pushed or rushed into something. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm frazzled, you know. So that would be my encouragement for you guys today. But that is all I have for you today. That's all I want to leave you with. If you know somebody who needs to hear this video, definitely share this video on all your social media networks that you happen to be on. I will leave all my social media links below in the more info box. And continue to watch the Lisa Rene TV show. I do appreciate any new subscribers. Shout out to you for being awesome. And you guys have a blessed week. And I will chat with you later. Bye.